Hi, my name is Jasmine Torres. I'm here doing an assignment for my Intro to Business class, an assignment called Current Event 2. So what I decided to work on was using Chapter 13, I believe. Yes, Chapter 13, dealing with management, how management deals with sexual harassment in the work field environment. As we all know, sexual harassment is a huge, it's a very big thing, and it should be highly considered and taken into consideration that it is very serious and should never go undermined. So, sexual harassment is, in dictionary terms, is the unwelcome, unwanted sexual advancement from someone, another individual that is not yourself, for favors, or they were requesting you to do something that you feel uncomfortable and don't want to. In most terms, it's sexual advances. Like if someone touches your shoulder, touches you below the waist, any part of your body that you don't want them touching you is a big no-no. So an organization that gathers a lot of women and also men into the public is called is the hashtag Me Too movement. The Me Too movement is revolutionary, but also peaceful protests on the respect and protecting the rights of women or everyone around who has suffered from experiences of people taking advantage of them or people doing gross things to them that's inhumane. So in a case like this, I'm doing a sexual harassment case on McDonald's, how McDonald's takes on sexual harassment in their working environment, including myself. I've been harassed in my McDonald's when I worked there during my high school years by my other colleague at the time. His name will go anonymous right now. So at McDonald's, everyone's favorite fast food chain. If you don't like it, whatever. So he and I had some weird vibes with each other. He was really quiet. I never got along with him, and everyone didn't suspect him of ever doing anything because he was just quiet. One day, he was holding a trash bag and he put it around my neck, and I just looked at him laughing. I have a very sick, humane humor, and I was laughing. I'm it looks like you're gonna choke me. This is before anything happened, and he did. He pulled on the bag around my neck and pulled it and and I gagged and I was choking. I'm like, oh my god. And I got away from him and I went to my manager. I'm like, hey, I haven't just put a trash bag around my neck and choked me. They thought I was joking and walked away. And I'm saying no, it seriously happened. If it happened, Jasmine, we would have it on video and there's no proof, so you're joking. So I'm anyways, so from there, we just didn't have a good vibe and I didn't like him. I tried to stay away from him. Then I'm running food. It's just me in the front of the McDonald's building running food for the driveway. He comes and he rings up a towel. You've seen the movies or guys, they hit each other with a towel, a wet towel. He hit me below my waist 3 times. Once, and I didn't say anything. Second, again, he comes back. And the third time he came back, these are at intervals. He came back, and I told him this wasn't okay. I'm very, at the time, I wasn't very up for myself. I didn't have confidence. But the hashtag MeToo movement brings into the proportion of you are not alone. You shouldn't feel like you have no right. You shouldn't feel like you don't have a voice. The Me Too movement brings people together to help stand up for those who can't talk like I did. I told my family about it, and they got the police involved, and that boy was not 18, so no, there could be no serious actions. They just said boys will be boys. But the police department, I showed them the pictures of there was welts on my body from when he hit me, that was not okay. If that just happened to me, other girls in my job also came out after I told them about this case that he had done those things to them too, but they were too afraid to talk about it. The police got involved and he had to do some legal information for now. He has to do classes on, I don't know, it's weird, but he did get punished, which I appreciate. But such allegations should not be tolerated at the McDonald's franchise. And this case too about Jirius, she talks about how a man would approach her every day and pin her down against the wall and provision herself for sex. She did not want this, nor should she deserve this. The whole article talks about how McDonald's fails and lacks through management, how they go against their code of ethics and how their safety of their workers is put at large, where it doesn't even matter. The whole incorporation from Food Inc. talks about hiring these workers. They're cheap labor. They come in, they're easily replaceable, so if they're easy to be replaced, just like the burgers laid in their mats, then They shouldn't matter. They're just like cattle. They're just used and sold. Same with workers. They're used, they're paid, and if they're too old or they're not like compatible enough for the work, they're thrown out. But such as rights like are needed and required throughout all movements of jobs you do. Unions are used to protect those workers, and unions are failing to help support fast food workers because they're not a highly appreciated job. Of course, there's the argument still of like people should be paid $15 more for like the hourly wage or what they go through, but like I don't know. For me, I believe that McDonald's fast food chains are just a stepping stool to help people learn acquired skills, work skills for when they move up in life. But anyways, going back to the article, there's a lawsuit again against McDonald's over them failing to hold up to their sexual harassment and OSHA guidelines that they even say in their actual rule book. I literally have my McDonald's Tri-Arc guidebook of working environment rules and stuff, and it goes about how sexual harassment would not be tolerated. When I was harassed at my job, all they did was schedule us different hours, but they failed. The management failed to remember that we couldn't work together because he had hurt me. We still would work together, and I would see him. Like even still to this day, I do not fear him. But when I was younger, I was afraid of seeing him because what if he hurt me again? What would I do? Like if he had decided to strangle me at my job instead of using a bag. That's not things you should ever go into a workplace and be afraid about. I just believe that like McDonald's should not should take into consideration of someone's life more, like should valuize it more than treating us like we're cattle. Everyone should be held accountable for their actions, and boys will not just be boys. Boys will be punished for their actions, and not just boys. Women who do this to men, there is equality. Women like to take advantage of men too. I'm not just saying it's just women. I'm saying human beings should be treated with respect, and you treat others how you would like to be treated. Like that's common sense we learned ever since kindergarten. I went over my 2 minutes, but that was my summary. Thanks for listening.